The Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Stoic edition, written and published by Ngasline. People are always looking for ways to be happy. Only good feelings here. Positive vibes. What if trying so hard to find happiness is actually what is making you unhappy? What if the Stoics had insights 2,000 years ago that we really need today? In these 5 lessons, you'll discover the straightforward and honest reality of true mental strength. Not the Instagram idea of peace, but real wisdom that helps when life gets tough. Here's what the ancient Stoics understood that you might not have heard. Lesson 1. You don't have to feel good all the time. It's okay to feel bad sometimes. That's just a part of life. Trying to feel good all the time can be tiring, unrealistic, and can actually lead to feeling worse. The whole positive vibes-only movement feels like trying to smile while being hit in the face. It's not only unrealistic, but can also harm mental health. Consider this. Whenever you feel down and push yourself to feel better, you're essentially saying it's not okay for me to feel this way. You're not just facing the initial bad feeling, you're also adding guilt and shame to it. It's similar to feeling sad about your sadness, angry about your anger, or anxious about your anxiety. This is a real problem. The Stoics discovered something important. Negative emotions are not your foe. They are simply patterns of weather in your thoughts. It can rain at times, and other times it can be sunny. It's not only impossible to have sunshine all the time, but it's also not natural. The true strength lies in accepting any weather that comes our way and figuring out how to operate no matter what it is. This is what real emotional strength looks like. Do you wake up feeling terrible? Okay, just accept it. Call it, today I'm not feeling great, and that's all right. Are you feeling angry? Great. Allow yourself to feel angry. Are you feeling sad? Allow yourself to feel sad. Stop trying to change these emotions and start letting them be without resisting. This doesn't mean you have to be a negative person or dwell on bad feelings. It means you stop using energy to act like everything is fine when it's not. You stop pretending to be happy for others. It means you become genuine. When you let yourself feel bad without fighting it, those bad feelings tend to go away more quickly. Imagine emotions as visitors in your home. Moods come and go, both good and bad. You can choose not to serve them dinner or ask them to stay for a long time, but you also don't need to rush them out the door. Allow them to arrive and leave on their own. Your role is not to dictate who comes over. It's to stay present in your home no matter who is there. This freedom is amazing. When you stop focusing on feeling good all the time, you may find that you feel better more frequently. What is the reason? Because you're not putting extra pressure or negative thoughts on how you naturally feel. You've stopped resisting what is real. You're not wearing yourself out with false cheerfulness. When you feel bad, instead of trying to fix it, just let it be. Don't force yourself to think positively. Don't push yourself to feel happy. Tell yourself at this moment, I feel angry, sad, frustrated, whatever's, and that's perfectly fine. Text this feeling as welcome here. Notice the energy you conserve by letting go of the struggle. Keep this in mind. The aim isn't to feel happy all the time. The aim is to be honest with yourself and develop the ability to manage any emotions that arise. Some days will be sunny, while others will bring storms. Your strength isn't in changing the weather, but in learning to move confidently through it all. Begin now. Allow yourself to experience whatever emotions you have. Stop criticizing yourself for how you feel. It's okay not to feel good all the time. Just be yourself. That's where real strength starts. Lesson 2. Stop wasting your time for bullshit. It's time to recognize that you might be spending your life on things that aren't important. Looking at social media for a long time, getting involved in other people's problems, putting in extra hours for a job that doesn't value you, making an effort to show off to people you don't care about. Your time is limited, and it seems like you're using it as if you have all the time in the world. Consider this. Nobody on their deathbed ever said, I wish I spent more time reading YouTube comments, or I wish I worked more overtime, or I wish I worried more about what others think of me. Yet here we are, wasting our valuable time on this kind of nonsense. The Stoics were correct. Time is something you can never regain, regardless of how wealthy or influential you are. Many people overlook this. Every yes to nonsense is a no to something valuable. Each hour spent on unproductive activities takes away from your actual life. Every minute spent on someone else's drama is a minute you could have used to create your own legacy. Your time is very important, and right now, you might be wasting it on things that won't matter in a week. Curious about what really counts: your well-being, your comfort and assurance, genuine connections, improving oneself. Work that has significance. What about the rest? It's likely not true. You can still have fun and relax. It means being purposeful with your time instead of wasting it on things that don't benefit you. Here's how to get straight to the point. Begin to notice how you spend your time, not where you believe it belongs, but where it actually belongs. Keep a record of your day. Be truthful. How many hours do you use social media? Is there any drama? Feeling anxious? Are you trying to make others happy? Now think about the time spent on something truly important. Notice the change? One of the best ways to safeguard your time is by saying no without needing to give an explanation. Say no to meetings that aren't needed. Say no to people who drain your energy. Say no to commitments that aren't beneficial for you. Your time is your own, and you don't have to give it to anyone else. When you agree to things you don't truly want, you're turning down your own happiness. Imagine your time as money in a bank account that decreases each day. If you wouldn't waste your money on foolish things, then why waste your time? Each day, you have 24 hours. Exactly that amount, nothing more or less. Whether someone is rich or poor, powerful or weak, everyone receives the same amount. The only thing that changes is how you use it. Here's a simple test to see what's worth your time. Is this important in 5 years? Will I think about this when I'm dying? Would I feel proud telling my grandkids that this is how I lived my life? If the answer is no, it's likely not true. Stop it. Life is too short to spend on things that aren't important. Keep this in mind. You can always earn more money. There's always a way to get more things. There are always more chances available. However, wasted time can never be regained. Every minute wasted is a minute of your life you can't reclaim. Take a moment to think about that. Begin now. Check your schedule. Examine your habits. Check what is taking up your time, then start being straightforward. Be determined. Prioritize your time for yourself. Your time is a reflection of your life. Lesson 3. Why writing down your thoughts changes everything. Your mind is like a browser with too many tabs open, thoughts spinning everywhere, worries piling up, ideas getting lost in the chaos. It's exhausting and overwhelming. But here's what the Stoics figured out centuries ago. The simple act of writing down your thoughts is like closing those tabs one by one. It's not just therapy, it's mental freedom. Think about it. How many thoughts do you recycle every day? The same worries, the same plans, the same overthinking loops playing like a broken record in your head. Your mind keeps these thoughts spinning because it thinks they're unfinished business. Writing them down is like telling your brain, okay, I've got this handled. You can let go now. Here's what makes writing so powerful. When thoughts stay in your head, they're messy, emotional, and often irrational. But something magical happens when you put them on paper. They become concrete. You can see them clearly. Suddenly, that massive problem doesn't look so massive anymore. That brilliant idea becomes clearer. That worry shows itself for what it really is. Usually nothing worth losing sleep over. The process is simple. Get a notebook. Nothing fancy, just something to write in. Every day, dump whatever's in your head onto the paper. No filters, no editing, no trying to make it pretty. Just raw, honest brain dump. Bad feelings, write them down. Stupid ideas, write them down. Embarrassing thoughts, definitely write those down. The paper doesn't judge. This isn't about creating literature or keeping a cute diary. This is about mental housekeeping. Think of it like taking out the trash. If you don't do it regularly, things start to stink. Your mind needs the same kind of regular emptying. Writing is the fastest way to clear the mental clutter and make space for actual thinking. The best part, Writing helps you spot patterns you never noticed before. Maybe you'll see that you worry about the same things over and over. Maybe you'll notice that your bad moods follow certain triggers. Maybe you'll discover ideas you didn't even know you had. It's like becoming a detective of your own mind. Here's how to make it work. Write first thing in the morning or last thing at night, whatever feels natural. Don't worry about grammar, spelling, or making sense. Just let it flow. Write until you feel lighter, until your mind feels clearer. Some days it might be a few lines, other days several pages. There's no right amount, just write until the mental noise quiets down. Remember this. Writing isn't just recording thoughts, it's processing them. When you write something down, you're forced to think it through in a way that just thinking about it never requires. This process alone often solves problems you've been stuck on for weeks. The real power move. Write down your negative thoughts, your fears, your angry rants, then rip up the paper. There's something incredibly freeing about watching your mental garbage literally get destroyed. It's like telling those thoughts, you don't live here anymore. Start today. Get a notebook. Write down whatever's spinning in your head right now. Don't try to fix anything or make it make sense. Just get it out of your head and onto the paper. Watch how your mind starts to clear, one word at a time. This is your mental reset button. Use it. Lesson 4. Death makes life real. Nothing is worth stressing over. Here's the reality nobody wants to talk about. You're going to die. Not today, probably not tomorrow, but eventually. And this isn't depressing news. It's actually the most liberating truth you can embrace. Because once you really understand that your time is limited, you stop wasting it on things that don't matter. Think about what you're stressing over right now. That work deadline, that awkward thing you said 5 years ago, that person who doesn't like you. Now ask yourself, will any of this matter when you're taking your last breath? Will you even remember it? The Stoics understood something powerful. Death isn't just the end of life, it's the ultimate perspective tool. Here's what happens when you really accept your mortality. The small stuff suddenly becomes really small. That rude comment someone made, meaningless. That mistake at work, temporary. That embarrassing moment. Who cares? When you zoom out and see your life against the backdrop of eternity, most of your daily stresses look absolutely ridiculous. But this isn't about being morbid or giving up. It's about using death awareness to make your life more real, more authentic, more worth living. When you know you're not going to be here forever, you stop putting things off. You stop wasting time on pointless drama. You stop living for other people's approval. You start actually living. Here's the practical side. Every time you feel stressed, zoom out. Imagine yourself on your deathbed looking back at this moment. Would this current problem even make it into your life's highlight reel? Would it be worth mentioning in your life story? If not, why are you giving it so much power over your peace of mind? The most powerful question you can ask yourself is, if I died tomorrow, would I be proud of how I spent today? Not to create pressure, but to create clarity. This question cuts through the bullshit and shows you what actually matters. It helps you distinguish between real problems and imaginary ones. Remember this. Everything that's stressing you out right now will eventually be forgotten. Every embarrassing moment, every failure, every setback, all of it will fade into nothing. This isn't depressing. It's freeing. If nothing lasts forever, why take anything too seriously? Why not relax a little? Why not enjoy the ride? The real power move is using death awareness to make better choices now. When you know your time is limited, you naturally focus on what matters. You stop postponing joy. You stop saving your best for later. You stop waiting for permission to live. Because later isn't guaranteed. All you have for sure is now. Here's how to practice this. When something's stressing you out, ask yourself, will this matter when I'm dead? Sounds extreme, but it works. Most of your stress comes from taking temporary things too seriously. Death perspective helps you stop doing that. Start today. Look at your current worries through the lens of your mortality. Feel how most of them dissolve under this perspective. Use this awareness not to become careless, but to become free. Because once you accept that nothing lasts forever, you can finally start living for real. Lesson 5. How problems make you unstoppable. Life is going to throw shit at you. That's not being negative. That's being real. Problems, obstacles, failures, disappointments. They're coming whether you're ready or not. But here's what the Stoics figured out. These problems aren't your enemies. They're your training ground. Every problem that hits you is actually making you stronger, but only if you know how to use it. Think about this. Why do some people break under pressure while others become unbreakable? Same problems, different results. The difference isn't in what happens to them. It's in how they use what happens to them. The people who become unstoppable aren't the ones who avoid problems. They're the ones who learn to turn every problem into power. Here's the secret. Problems are like weights in the gym of life. Each one is an opportunity to build mental muscle. That person who screwed you over, they just helped you build trust issues into trust strength. That failure that embarrassed you, it just helped you build failure fear into failure immunity. That setback that hurt you, it just helped you build breakdown resilience into breakthrough power. The key is changing how you see problems. Stop seeing them as, why is this happening to me? And start seeing them as, this is happening for me. Every problem comes with a hidden gift. It shows you where you need to get stronger. It reveals your weak spots so you can reinforce them. It highlights your fears so you can face them. Here's how to make this work. When a problem hits, don't immediately try to escape it. Face it. Feel it. Ask yourself, what is this problem here to teach me? How can this make me stronger? This isn't positive thinking bullshit. It's strategic problem using. You're turning your obstacles into your advantages. The most powerful moment is when you realize that problems don't break you. They reveal what's unbreakable in you. Every time you handle something you thought you couldn't handle, you discover strength you didn't know you had. Each problem solved is proof that you can solve problems. Each pain endured is evidence that you can endure pain. Remember this. The goal isn't to have a life without problems. The goal is to become the kind of person who can handle any problem. Think about it. If you could handle anything life throws at you, what would there be to fear? Nothing. That's real freedom. That's what being unstoppable means. The practical side is simple but not easy. Start treating your problems like training. Just like you wouldn't expect to get stronger without lifting weights, don't expect to get mentally tougher without facing difficulties. Each problem is a rep. Each challenge is a set. You're not just going through them. You're growing through them. Here's the ultimate truth. Life is going to keep testing you until you get the lesson. The same problems will keep showing up until you develop the strength to handle them. So instead of asking, why does this keep happening? Ask, what do I need to learn from this? The faster you learn, the faster you grow. Start today. Look at your current problems differently. They're not here to break you. They're here to make you unbreakable. Every obstacle is an opportunity. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Every problem is preparation for becoming unstoppable. Final lesson. The Art of Not Giving a Fuck, Stoic Edition. The ancient Stoics aimed to understand life better. They were learning to control it. These 5 lessons teach us an important idea. Real strength is not about dodging issues or acting happy all the time. It's about seeing things just as they are. When you realize that it's okay not to feel good all the time, stop wasting energy on unnecessary things. Clear your mind by writing. Use the idea of death to gain perspective and transform your problems into strength. You become truly unstoppable. This is not about being unfeeling or detached. It's about being genuine. It's about creating strength that can manage whatever life brings your way. The way of the Stoic isn't about avoiding reality. It's about learning to handle it well. These are not just ideas. They are proven tools for living a stronger and more genuine life. You get to decide now. You can continue with the act of pretending everything is fine while feeling stressed, or you can opt for the way of true strength. The world needs more real warriors and fewer fakes. What will you become?